This is Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and this is the Oakley Podcast, Trucking Business and Family. And I tell you, we bring a new episode to you every week, and we try real hard to find some good stuff. This one we just kind of stumbled into this morning, which happens quite a bit on a lot of them. But I'm anxious to hear from one of our owner-operators, Jared Smith. He's only been here a month, so listen up, recruits. If you're thinking about coming over here, you're going to get a good, honest version of the first month of the recruiting process. We're going to get some history on you too, Jared, and go back and look at his story, but also just the process of going from company driver and the nervousness of diving off into being an independent contractor and buying your own truck and picking the company and just, that whole process. And he's got a great story. We're going to get to that in just a minute. And I appreciate all our listeners out there, man. You guys are awesome. Keep it coming. Be sure and check us out on all our social media stuff and like us, subscribe us, share it, man. That helps so much if you listen to an episode and you just send it to a friend. That algorithm helps us tremendously spread the word because we've got 65,000 subscribers and there's 3 million truck drivers in the world, so we want everybody to subscribe to the Oakley Podcast. So, all right, let's get fired up. Jared, welcome to the Oakley Podcast, man. I appreciate you sitting down with me here on such short notice.
Glad to be here in the AC, not in the heat.
What are you doing in here in the office anyway on Monday morning?
Well, I was just set on the yard this weekend and getting loaded out to head to the house. Been out 14 days and
are you?
Get me something going home. So had to bring my driver's license by here since I am a new hire with my hazmat endorsement and all that, and just dropping it off, and was out there greasing my truck. Miss Annabelle pulled up. So.
Yeah, put you right on the spot.
Yes.
Huh? So tell me your name, where you from, family.
My name's Jared Smith. I'm from Sulphur Springs, Texas, about an hour east of Dallas on 30, and married. My wife Randall. She is a woman, not a man. So that's plus,
No comment.
Throws it out there a little bit sometimes,
Randall. That's
Randall.
A unique name.
Her dad was a Hank Williams Jr. fan, and she always wants to change her name, but I said, no, it makes you unique, and it makes you who you are.
That's right.
We got a little girl that'll be 2 this Saturday, August 16th is her birthday.
All right.
We waited a little late in life, but hey, it was all in God's timing. Mm-hmm. And she was born on the 16th of August, and my birthday's the 19th of August, so I'll never have a birthday ever again. It's all about summer.
That's right.
So she's just like her daddy, wakes up early and raring to go.
That's good. That's good. And so Sulphur Springs, Texas, we got a bunch of guys in that area.
Oh, yes,
sir.
Do
you know any of them?
Yeah, like I say, that's how I got here was Ross Scott,
Okay.
a friend I went to high school with. He's in the pneumatic division, been here a little over 3 years. And then Adam and Sean English, they're on the pneumatic side as well.
You bought Adam's truck.
Yes, sir, I did.
That's right.
Bought Adam's truck. It was in here in the fleet, and he just found his dream truck, and I knew it was a good truck. He'd put a lot of money into it,
What kind of truck is it?
It's a 2016 579 Peterbilt.
Nice.
So good truck, just slick. It's made money over here, and
well, he takes care of his stuff.
Yes,
knowing about it makes a big difference, and it was leased on here already. So.
Right. So it had been an active truck working over here for the last, I think, 6 years. Is that how long you had it over here?
Yeah, probably so.
So, it was already known by Oakley, so it was an easy transition for me and kind of helped me get over here and get this thing going, because I've been talking to Kent for the last 2 years on coming to Oakley. Ross recruited me 2 years ago.
Well, what took you so long?
Just making that jump, making the decision that, hey, this is what's best for my family. I was, me and Ross had flatbedded together a little bit for a little family-owned operation, and I got out of that and started doing heavy haul. My guy, his daddy kind of started a little heavy haul business. They got a record service also, so I worked on the record service side and did the heavy haul with them, and it just got to where, I was ready to see that benefit of being an owner-operator, and, I'd always made everybody else money, and I just wanted to see if I could make a little bit for my family, and, man, Oakley gives you that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a big step.
Yes, sir.
When did you get your CDL?
Got my CDL. I left the Oilfield in 2019, and I'd had a Class B whenever I was a firefighter, and then I upgraded my Class A in 2019, and then COVID hit, and I'll tell you right now, I was one of the last people to get it, just going there and upgrading without having to go through the school and the process, but just getting there to do my driving and skill stuff was a nightmare.
Was it?
So, yes, sir. It was just crazy because you would only get a 2-hour appointment time, and You know, you'd exhaust that doing your skills, then you'd have to come back, and it was just wild getting my CDL upgraded to the A. So, but I'd had my B since I was a firefighter.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
When were you? How long were you a firefighter?
So I started the fire service in 2004, and I got out of it in 2011 and went to the oil field to chase that money. And so I just lost my compassion, you know, always in the back of the ambulance. And I love fighting fire, but there ain't a lot of firefighting that went on where I was. And so I just said, you know what, I'm going to go to the oil field.
So you do that as a EMT?
Yeah,
too?
EMT, and I went through paramedic school and got all that. And I was just like, I was burnt out on it because you get the worst of the worst. I mean, if somebody calls us then, they were having a bad day and just really tear at you and stick with you. And I had some buddies that had left the fire service and went to the oil field. So that's what I did, you know, and worked my way up from the bottom to the top.
Oh, did you?
Yes, sir. Stayed in it until 2019 and got out.
So what is the bottom and the top?
So the bottom is the floor hand, and I'm talking about Jared wasn't my name. I'll say this. It was pretty rough back then. And Jared wasn't my name for about the first 3 months, and then I just happened to be always in the right position to advance. And I moved up to motor hand within 6 months, and then Derek, man, real quick after that. And then I was assistant driller, and then it crashed. The oil field did, and just went to Houston to start building these new smart rigs, just all joystick and computer operated, and it was something new to the industry. So I stayed down there and learned them. Didn't know what I was doing downhole, you know, but I could run that rig. I didn't know what was going on down there, but I could run it really good, and I just moved up really, really fast.
Okay.
And stayed in it for a long time, and I just had been with my wife, and we had decided to get married, and I was like, man, I kind of want to be around her. You know, I'm tired of being gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long were you gone at?
2 weeks. So I'd work 14 on, 14 off.
Okay.
And so I just wasn't ever home, and decided I want to be home. You know, there's more to life than being gone. Yes, it was good money, but I was tired of being gone all the time.
Right. Yeah, that'll weigh on you after a while.
Oh, yes, sir. It's hard. It takes a real strong support system of the house, and thank God I got one.
Are you going to start getting home regularly now, a little more regular than that?
Yeah, that's what we're working on right now. I'm on the worship team at my church, and so I haven't been to church since about 4 weeks. And it's really been weighing on me, but I can watch online and all that.
It ain't the same though.
It ain't the same,
no.
When you're there in person. And so they're the Buck and Kent. We've been talking because we won't get home on the weekends to be able to serve and help out, and that's why I'm here today too. We talked about that a little bit. So, man, y'all, when Jeremy talks about that stuff of you got an issue or something's going on, don't be afraid to walk through that door, because I walked through that door and we had a resolution within minutes. I mean,
that was this morning.
This morning, it just happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're not just a number over here. I mean, it's not just like how you just deal with it. They're going to work with you any way they can to be beneficial to you and themselves. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's independent contractors. You guys are hard to come by. So I mean, we got to do our best to try to keep you. Central Arkansas Trucking Trailer strives to take care of our owner-operators as quickly and accurately as possible. As a family-owned and operated company, they understand and value the importance of relationships just like we do. That is why Oakley owner-operator Joe Williams continues to return to their shop for service on his truck.
I've been with Oakley Trucking for 2 years in this April, first-time owner-operator. It was a shock, the maintenance and the repairs on it, because I've never done anything like this before. And I told my wife, I said, I'm going to try that Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer, because they're so convenient. They're right there off the interstate, right down the road from Oakley Trucking. And I talked to Nathan, and being an owner-operator, he tries to get the owner-operators in and out as quick as possible, because he knows if we're not rolling, we're not making money. If they tell me they can get my truck in at a certain time, they get it in at a certain time. If they tell me, well, it'll be ready at this time, it's ready at that time. So I can really count on them. They're competitive with anybody around, probably better than most.
Next time your truck needs service, give Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer a call at 501-568-2185 and let them know you heard it here on the Oakley Podcast. The process, when you started talking to Kent, which you said was 2 years ago.
Yes.
And so you always, which is not unusual, by the way, that we plant a seed with a recruit for a long time until finally the opportunity comes for you to make that move, you know, and decide to, because it's such a big decision.
Oh, yeah.
What you and your wife, I'm sure, had conversations about doing this on you know, jumping out here on your own. What was that like, and what was the process like of making that jump from company driver to owner operator?
So we prayed about it a lot, you know, and doors just kept opening. And, you know, like I say, Ken had chased me for 2 years. He had called me probably 3 or 4 times in that 2-year period just to say, hey, has anything changed? Are you ready yet? And I was like, no. And then, you know, Adam called me out of nowhere and, hey, man, would you be interested in my truck? You want to come over here? I'm like, well, yeah. I said, where are we at? And he told me. I was like, yeah, let's do it. You know, I mean, that's a blessing. Let's make this happen. And then where I was, it was a family-owned business. And, I mean, I've known the dad 20-plus years. And, you know, he's like a second dad to me.
Yeah.
And so when I told him, it was hard.
Sure.
Because that business that they had in heavy haul had just got started. And me and Justin had really built it to something. It started making money and profit, and, you know, it was hard to leave it because I was in my comfort zone. And, you know, if there's no risk in things and you just kind of go with the flow, man, you're always going to be just riding that line. Mm-hmm. But if you take out there and you step out there and take a chance, you'll start seeing things happen in your life. And listening to God was a big deal, because I'm like, should I do this, you know? And, like, went to go get my TWIC card done before I got here, and system broke down. I was like, really? And so I had to go back. I'm like, oh. And I kept hitting brick wall after brick wall there for a little bit, and I was getting tested. You know, I was like, am I doing the right thing? You know, and prayed about it. And then finally we got here, you know, and it was a struggle. But my wife was supportive, and she was nervous about it, just me being gone. And we've got a little girl at the house, and everything was going to be on her shoulders, and she's handled it really, really well. So, well,
it means a lot to have her support you.
Yes.
You know, because if somebody's and I've said this before, if somebody's at home and they're not supporting you, it's just a matter of time before that's going to fail.
Oh yeah, you've got to be a team in this deal, and, you know, we've kind of talked it out along the way, you know, and she's stuck it out, you know. She misses me, and she's like, I'm gonna push mow that yard this evening, because we push mow our backyard, and I've got a 0 turn for the front, you know. And I was like, no, I'll be there. We'll get it done, you know. But she's trying to do things so that when I do get home, it's able to spend time with them, you know.
Well, you've only been here a month, so you haven't got into a groove yet.
Right, yeah. We hadn't kind of got that, you know, how I run with my dispatcher Buck. You know, he's working to keep me moving, and sometimes things fall out from underneath him. And he'll tell me, hey, Jared, it fell out from underneath us. I'm sorry. But he works with me. He said, we'll just head back to Little Rock. We'll get you a load, and we'll get you going, you know, and trying to keep me moving as best he can. But one thing I'll say about Buck is when I talk to him, I feel like I'm his only driver. And I know he's got 47 more probably. I don't know his exact number, but, you know, he makes me feel like it's just me and him working. Mm-hmm. When he's got all this other stuff on his plate, he makes me feel like, you know, it's just me and him working together, when I know that's not the case. So that means a lot too. Yeah. So, because this is a big operation over here.
Well, and that's something we got to take in consideration on the risk that you're at. Not only us, but, you know, as always, it's your truck pulling our trailer, and we've all got to make a living off of this.
Yes, sir.
And that makes it that makes us want to be able to communicate and very well and understand each other, so we can both make some money. I mean, that's the name of the game anyway.
Yeah, people always, you know, when I started this, and, man, that's too good to be true. They're not going to charge you a trailer rent. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. I said, no, man, it's cut and dry. Here's what they're going to do. And they give you a pretty good idea where you're going to be at, you know, money-wise. They, you know, talk to you about it whenever you're in the recruiting process, and people can't believe it. And I was like, man, is it really that good? And then you get here, and like, hey, it ain't that bad. You know, it's a pretty good deal.
How was that the process of orientation, and then your first month here at Oakley? Tell the listeners a little bit about that.
So I was on the I like to call it the Oakley Fast Track program, the week of July 4th, you know.
Oh, that was on a Friday.
Yes,
so
sir.
You were on.
Yeah, so we were rushing through, but, you know, they covered the material, and I was that driver that I'd always been on a paper log. I'd never done an ELD. So they really worked with me on that, and they've really helped me, you know, learn that system, because you're racing a clock, you know, with a ELD. You got to really plan your business and plan your day. But like the orientation, they were, very thorough and making sure we all got the material we needed and had everything we could to help us get through the process. And Randolph, he's a pretty good leader over there. Mm-hmm. He told a lot of stories, and yeah, it was fun. But like we were rushed, a little bit because we were getting out a day early. But they made sure we got a load to get us out of here and get us headed back towards the house. So that was a pretty good deal. And so
you had pulled dump trailer before.
Yes, sir.
So you had some experience doing that.
I'd had some experience doing that, and a lot of the guys in my class, they were company drivers and did a lot of dry van work and pulled reefers, and man, they got out there and worked with them on learning the process of dumping and make sure they were ready to roll. But yeah, I'd hauled rock and sand and lime, and so I had some previous experience. But the trainers and stuff made sure them guys were ready and good to go on the process of how they need to do things. Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing, they stick you with a guy out there in the field. And I had John Welch out of Gilmer, Texas. We got a load of sand. My first
John's
load.
Been on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. I saw him on there. So, yeah, him and his wife, we picked up a load of sand, and they waited on me to get there. And they had been up here that day we were leaving with our trailers, and so he'd sat down there for a little bit waiting on me, but man, he was very helpful along the way. We still talk to this day, and good. He stays in touch with me, makes sure I'm good, and everything's going all right. And then I had Randy, and I forget Randy's name. He's from over around New Mexico. He was driver of the year in 2023 maybe. Randy, he's on Buck's team, but Randy stayed with me, and we run pretty hard together that first week. And he's like, man, you got it. You're good. And I was like, I don't know. I said, you don't want to make that extra money, for me being we? And he's like, no, man, you need to get out there and make some money. I don't want to hinder you none. But, yeah, the trainers were very helpful.
That's good.
And even the guys that we run together, they were helpful and, man, very, very friendly. And,
well, it's so hard to get the full effect here on the yard when we're out here, raising the trailer up and down. And, sometimes we load you and sometimes they don't. But, when you're out here on blacktop, level ground, and that's not the case all the time when you go in and out of places.
Yeah.
So.
We, the next week we got up to the northern area up there, and I went to New York, Oswego, New York. And I'm like, what am I doing up here? And it was getting this factory, and I'm like, we're going to do what? We're raising your trailer up in a factory. But even the receiver, they were very helpful. And, hey, this is how we do it. And, watched along the way. And, I mean, just to help me, I told them, hey, I'm new. I've never done, I've always dumped in on concrete or out in a pasture somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so I hadn't had that experience, man, but, very helpful. And that's one thing, Oakley's got a rapport I've noticed out in the field, of good people, and they're willing to help us. You're with Oakley, then that means something to a lot of these places I've gone to. And when I flatbedded, you didn't get that. You were a hinder to them, more. They didn't really try to help, and hey, figure it out. And that ain't the case. So
that's good to know.
Yes, sir. That's
we've got
good.
some really good customers we've had for a long, long time. So, and you're in a different niche of what we haul,
right?
And in and out of some of this stuff. I mean, it can be very interesting, mm-hmm. On some of the stuff we do too. For when you get into the bulk business, for sure. What is probably the toughest thing you've run into so far in this whole process?
I'd say going to places like the other day. I'd gone to Pittsburgh and I'd picked up some scrap at a power plant and went down to a place there and was looking at my directions. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. We're having to go way around to get somewhere. And then I got there, and there was directions in the call from like 2012, I guess. And so they said a bridge was out. And if that bridge had been there, I wouldn't have had to go 40 miles around. That's probably just some outdated information on the call list. But, man, I told Buck, and, they got it fixed up real quick. That would be one of the biggest things I've run into is just places that haven't been gone to a lot. But Buck's tried to find out all he can, to help me. And I said, hey, man, this isn't making sense. That's one thing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess going to places you've never been to
never,
before.
Yeah, I've never been there. Never, until now, I'd never been above Kentucky. I'd always I've been to Colorado and places like that, but I hadn't been up there in the northeastern rand. And I went to Detroit, Michigan, Oswego, New York, Washington, D.C., Delaware. I've been everywhere, man. There's a song about that. So I've done all that in 30 days. So
You sure have, haven't you?
yes, sir.
Well, I mean, we don't mess around. We throw you right in the fire quick and see
Yeah.
if you're going to sink or swim. I mean,
Break you in right.
Break you in right. I mean, that's all we can do. Good. Well, you've already told me I was going to ask you the relationship with your dispatcher, but you're sounding like you're on top of that. What do you? I mean, obviously, driving a truck means a lot to you. I mean, you've done it for a long time, and sounds to me like you have found your passion.
Yes, that's what I was telling Annabelle earlier. You know, I mean, I've done everything. I've always liked driving. You know, I've always enjoyed just the peacefulness of being out on the road and having that windshield time. And like, I've been a firefighter. I have worked in the oil field. I have worked offshore in snubbing for Boots and Coots. I've done everything, but I finally found my calling, and that's, you know, driving. I enjoy it. I like it, and it's just something that relaxes me. You know, and that's hard to do out on the road these days because there's a lot of 30-watt drivers out there. You know, they ain't too bright, so you really got to pay attention and you know, handle your business.
If you could tell them people something, and what would you tell the general public out there that is driving up and down the highways?
Well, I think that before anybody is able to get a driver's license, they should have to ride in a big truck and see what we go through. Or just send them a video, because we're not trying to hinder you. We're not trying to get in your way. I know there's a lot of aggressive drivers out there that may make people think that way, but we're just trying to get out of your way as fast as we can. You know, so give us a little bit of time. I mean, and I always thought that, man, follow that big truck, because they're going to be knowing where the police are. Or, you know, if you blow around them, you know, there may be one sitting right there on your front door, and you're going to get pulled over. But, you know, we're not all bad people. We get a bad rapport in the industry, you know, of being aggressive and, it's just a truck driver, you know. But, man, we've got families too, and truck drivers are what make us have the things we have in life.
Well, you talked about learning going from paper logbook to ELDs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, explain to the general public what that is.
So, like a paper log, how can we describe it?
Well, explain what the basics that you got so many hours to drive and you have to stop.
Yeah, so you got 70 hours a week to work. There's 11 hours a day of driving, and you can exhaust that really quick if you don't plan your business, you know, and because just driving around, you could burn some time in traffic. You kind of know the times when traffic is heavy in places, and know when you can and can't get places, and it's designed to be safer on the ELD side of it, you know, now we've got laws in place, and a guy can't just write down on paper what he did to make it look good for his benefit when he's really been driving for 18 hours.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did it for a long time like that. I'd have one that was, you know, legal, and I'd have one that was, this looks a little better, you know, just trying to make it right. And I was like, this ain't right. I need to just do what I do.
Yeah.
You know, that's safer that way. So, but the ELD is designed to help us all out, and, you know, make sure the guys are staying.
Well, it tries to keep you from driving fatigued.
Yes.
Because you got to have a 10-hour break every day.
30-minute break every 8 hours. And
30-minute break every 8 hours, so you can't drive more than that, which I don't know how anybody could. Me and my wife stop every hour and a half.
Yeah, we can usually make it from our house, from Sulphur Springs to Greenville, which is about 30 miles. My wife needs to go somewhere and use the restroom sometimes, and, you know, so we get a break all the time. But
yeah, I know it.
Yeah, so
well, I think a lot of people don't realize. I mean, the rules that you have to follow that is designed by the federal government. That you have to abide by these driving hours, and you can't go over them or you'll be in violation. And then that turns into the big billboards all over town and all the commercials of hit by a truck. Well, that's what these people are doing. They know that you have to abide by all these laws, and they're going to, if you're in an accident, they're going to try to figure out how you were at fault.
Right, and I've been through it on the other side. I was working on a truck deal one day for like 8 hours, trying to trade a truck in. We finally got the deal done, and I told my salesman, I was like, hey, man, I want to just take my stuff out of my truck. So I drove my pickup I was trading in home. Well, I had a truck driver, do an illegal U-turn in front of me. I mean, and I come over a hill, and I was there, and I hit him doing 50 in my personal truck. And he was a car hauler that was empty, and he had missed the turn for the truck stop and just turned right in front of me, and I just nailed him. I mean, it was I could have went right, but there was a family right there riding bicycles, and then there was traffic coming from the left, so I just had to take all I could, just take the hit. And so I went through a lawsuit on, and when I hit a truck driver. It was their fault. The guy had been in the industry for 6 months and was supposed to have a trainer with him per their company policy. So I had to go through a lawsuit on the other side of this, and it was an ordeal.
I bet it was.
I mean,
were you okay? Did you get hurt?
Well, I did. I had to have knee surgery, and I was supposed to have back surgery, and I decided not to do the back surgery. But I had to sue the trucking company. It was, a hard choice to make, but I was messed up.
It sounds like it.
And that was about a year-long process. And,
Did you heal up okay?
I healed up good, had my surgery on my knee and got it fixed back up. My back, I was able to do some therapy on it, and I just didn't want to have my nerves burnt back there and maybe have problems back, way back when. But, I got a clean bill of health and went back to work in the oil field for another year and then decided to get out. But, what I'll say about Oakley, make sure they get people that are dependable, honest, trustworthy, and have integrity. That's one thing I have noticed about everybody that driving here.
Can you tell a difference now that you probably could before this because you had some friends, but the first month out on the road, can you tell the difference between an Oakley owner-operator and the rest of the truck driving community?
Oh, yes, sir. They're dressed for success, as I like to say. They're not, slouchy. They're not dirty looking. They're clean shaven. They represent the company well in the industry. That's the way it needs to be represented. And an Oakley driver, everybody knows an Oakley driver because there's just that reputation out there of how we are.
You learning finances of being an independent contractor? And learning how to manage the money and taxes and all. That's a big deal, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's a big deal, and y'all taught it. Y'all helped us with all that whenever we come through the orientation process, and just finding that happy medium right there. Because it's just like when I was in the oil field, guys would go out and they'd make 120 a year and upwards, and they'd have brand new pickups and all these toys, and then when it went down, they were sitting in a bank parking lot somewhere.
Yeah.
But here it's real easy to manage it and kind of know, all right, need to drive this many miles and we can be here, and then all right, fuel's higher here, and y'all have got us the TransFlow app where we can search and plan our trips accordingly for fuel prices and give us the best way to save money out there on the road as well.
How do you plan your daily trip or 2 days, say? I mean, the more information you've got from Buck, I guess, the better you can plan.
Yeah, you can kind of know because I noticed like in the Northeast, they're on union time. So they're going to be in an hour on the East Coast, and they're going to shut down for morning breaks, lunch break, evening break, and they're going to stop receiving at 2 to 3:30. Well, up in the Northeast, if you don't get to a truck stop by that time, then you're going to be sitting at the receiver, shipper, wherever, and you're not going to find a place to park. So you got to plan out where you're going to stay. All right, I've got this many hours of drive time, this many miles today to get there, and then kind of look at your fuel prices as well, because you might be $4 up there in Northeast, but you can get it in Ohio for $3.20 or something like that. So I try to plan out where I'm going to stay, the amenities they have where I am staying, if I need to do laundry or take showers or whatever, and get the cheapest fuel possible.
There's a lot that goes into planning a day.
Yeah, because you can get out there in a dirt lot and be like, man, I needed to go to the grocery store. You might have a Cool Ranch Dorito mustard sandwich for dinner. So if you don't plan your stuff right. So
you carry food with you?
Yes, sir. Got to carry plenty of food with me. We like to go to Sam's and get all the stuff we can get for me getting out on the road, and plenty of water. And I even bought me a tote. I like to take a shower 2 times a day usually. So I got a little tote and swim trunks. And
do you?
Yeah, just make it easy. Get like a gallon of water and take a little bath right there and dry off. And that way, if I am stuck in a dirt lot somewhere, at least I can get clean. So plan ahead for that. Yeah. So you don't want to be that guy walking there with greasy hair, and Oakley don't want you to do that either. That's why, appearance is really, really big here.
Yes, it is. It is very big. Well,
yes, sir.
That helps give people an understanding of just what takes place. I mean, a day goes through a truck driver's mind. I mean, the more information you know, the better you can. I mean,
Yeah.
because all you hear about is how hard it is to eat right out there on the road. So you got to try to take your food with you and
Meal prep. You know,
is that what you do? You got a microwave or something?
I've got a microwave in there and stuff, and then I know guys that got griddles that run off a little propane tank or little grills or whatever. But yeah, it's all you can only eat so many cheeseburgers till it's going to affect you later in life, and that's why I tell my wife. I gained 30 pounds in the pregnancy and still ain't lost it. So
yeah,
it's easy.
2 years later.
Yeah,
Jerry.
2 years later. That's what I tell her. You gained 14 pounds while you're pregnant, and I gained 30. I just
don't make
can't
any
kick
sense,
it.
does it?
So got to stay active and like get out and walk around a little bit. And not just get there, shut down, take a shower, and go to bed. So.
We got Jimmy Evans that is one of our owner operators pulling a dump, and he's got a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Jimmy's Road Life, and you ought to check him out. He's good at exercising and giving some good helpful hints on how to do it while on the road, and cruise tube too. He's pretty good. He's into exercising and just a lot of stuff. I mean, you need to. Because you got to try to do that, man, to keep, if it's just moving a little bit, it makes a difference. If you can just 15-minute walk, it helps, do that a couple times a day. But you're limited. I mean, you're at a truck stop.
Yeah.
You're liable to get run over.
Exactly, or walk through something you don't want to walk through. You got to
Right.
pay attention to them places. I'd rather not stay at a truck stop, unless I just have to, because you'll see things.
Where are you trying to stay?
I stay a lot at Love's, and the TAs. I noticed like a TA, they'll have people come in there with machines to clean the showers and stuff and make sure that, it's up to spec and standards. And
If you can't get in a truck stop, where you stay?
Usually at the receiver, I'll talk to
Okay.
them. And there's been one occasion where they didn't let me stay there, and I had to, get out of there and get to the closest truck stop. But I don't like parking on the side of the road. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
I worked many wrecks where a truck would be over here parked and asleep, and some other truck come rear-end them, and then it's a bad day for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, planning your days big, and then I wound up having to do a 34 out there to Iowa 80 in Walcott.
Oh, did you?
That was an experience.
That's probably not a bad place to do one, is it?
Well, it wasn't bad. It was just there was a lot of people there that weekend. It was just after they had their big truck show, and I slept 18 hours one day because I was just tired of going in there. And my wife said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I don't know. I think I might be depressed. Maybe I've never I watched so much Netflix, and I was like, I think I just want to go to bed." Yeah, I was
Too
over
much
it.
time on
Too
your
much
hand.
time on my hand, and then you go in there and you're like, "Oh, that's expensive." It's like it's bigger than a Walmart up there.
It sounds like we had them on the podcast.
Yeah.
Back, I don't know. Was this year, last year, a couple years ago? They were super nice, good talking about that place, and they was wanting us to come up there. We didn't go, but sounds like a neat place.
Yeah, it's a neat place. They got anything and everything you could think of, and you can walk in there and get anything to eat, and they got a good little old school cafe in there, and sit down at the old trucker bar top to order like they used to back in the day, and it was pretty wild. But I had more fun people watching these guys trying to back in tight spots.
Oh, I bet.
That was pretty good.
At Aero Truck Sales in Springfield, Missouri, they take the hassle out of buying and selling semi-trucks. No matter the manufacturer, the style of cab, or the type of engine under the hood, they can make you a fair offer on your semi-truck with no games or gimmicks. They carry trucks from all the major manufacturers in the trucking industry and perform a thorough inspection of every truck on their lot to ensure safety and quality and give you confidence that you're getting a reliable truck that will last you for years at a price that you can afford. Aero has partnered with Oakley Trucking and the Oakley Podcast for years and are proud to provide our owner-operators with trucks that meet Oakley's qualifications and each owner-operator's specific needs. So whether you're a first-time owner-operator or just looking for a change of scenery, give Keith Wilson a call at 573-216-6047 and let them know you heard it here on the Oakley Podcast.
What's some of Jared and Randall's goals from here on? You got some goals that you've set as an independent contractor, what you're striving for?
Yeah, we're striving. We just provide for Summer and give her the best life possible, and save, because you never know, when something might change, and you got to prepare financially for anything that might come to you, and not just live paycheck to paycheck, and really build, a foundation of, hey, we're going to be okay. We're not going to exhaust the savings account. We're going to keep so much here and so much there, and I just want to get the reward of being an owner-operator with my wife. And like I tell everybody, I was like, her and Summer own it. I just drive for them,
Yeah.
It's all about them. And
Does she work outside the home?
She did before Summer, and then once we had Summer, she stayed home. She worked for Texas Oncology, a cancer center there around the house, and she'd always worked. I tell people the story. I never had to worry about money. I always worked hard and made good money in the oil field and firefighting. And when I got with Randall, and she worked a full-time job, and then she had a cleaning job, or she cleaned like 4 or 5 places, and she could make $75 last week, because she had been on her own since she was 18. And she was very good with money. I never had to worry about it. And she's really taught me how to be more, money smart.
Yeah.
And then realize that, hey, just because you got it don't mean you got to spend it, And that's one thing I will say about her. She is a hard worker, and I just want to give her the life to where she can be a stay-at-home mom. And if she wants to go back to work, she can, but let her enjoy, that home time with Summer. Even though my daughter is hard-headed like her daddy.
Yeah. It may not be long. She may want to go to work and you come stay home.
Right, yeah, that may be what happens. But, yeah, Summer starts Mother's Day out next month at the First Baptist Church. And I think Randall's going to have a hard time with it, because it's funny to listen to them because they'll be going at it back and forth. And I know Randall's ready to pull her hair out sometimes, but, she's a hard worker, and, man, she's a great mama. So.
Yeah, well, you gotta take care of the kids, and, because they're gone before you know it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like the other day my boys were out, helping me weed eat and mow the yard, and then that free labor's been gone for 10 plus years now.
Yeah.
They're 27 and 25, and now you can't, hard to get them to do anything for you now.
Yeah, Randall's just sending me pictures of last year at this time. We were at the beach in Panama City.
Yeah.
And Summer, was just a year ago. And she looks so little compared to now. Like now her hair's long and down to her shoulders and got pigtails. And, I mean, it's just like they do grow up. When people say they grow up fast, they do. And
it does. It's something else.
It's wild. She's always learning something new. And it's neat to get home, and she runs to Daddy and hugs me. And it's the best feeling in the world.
Isn't it, though?
Yes, sir.
What's the future look like for Jared?
Well, just want to stay out here and be an owner-operator at Oakley, and, just provide for my family. And that's what I told Randall. I said, I'm 42, and, if I can put another 10 years in, we should be all right.
There you go.
So, and I serve at my church, like I said. And, man, it's something else when you go in there and worship. And I told Randall, I said, one day I may be the song leader. You just never know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you can always do radio for them if they ever have a radio station.
Yeah, my mom always told me I had the face for radio,
Yep.
so that ought to work out pretty good.
Yeah.
So
we're in the same. Well, see, you're on YouTube now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they got a face. So
we're all out there. So.
yeah, if you want to know what me and Jared look like, just go to YouTube and watch us, man.
There you go.
We've got 65,000 subscribers. Somebody wants to see us.
Yeah, I mean, I was.
Come on.
I was one time. I called into a radio station there in Dallas. It was 99.5 The Wolf, and I said, "Hey, good morning, Brian and Tara." And this guy was like, "Hang on a second." They put me on hold, and he says, "Is this Luke Bryan?" I was like, "No, this ain't Luke Bryan." Well, he thought I was Luke Bryan, and I mean, we did a little skit deal on it. It was pretty good.
Oh,
deal,
yeah.
And yeah, people have told me a lot that I'm a lot like Luke Bryan. So, Luke, if you're watching, I'm that guy that everybody says sounds just like you. So, and then if you come to the Oakley party's coming up, me and Annabelle talked about it. I'm probably going to do a little karaoke up there and get on stage and sing,
Nice.
So as long as my record label lets me, we should be
That'll be
be a good time. So
I was leaning more towards Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Than Luke Bryan. That's what I was headed more towards.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Not an insult. That's a compliment.
Yeah, it's good stuff right
yeah,
there.
I really like him.
Yeah, he's a nut.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Just, put your shirt on with no sleeves and you got it.
hell, I would, but you can't really carry a gun in the truck no more.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, this has gone off the rails. We better move on to something else. So, yeah, he does. He got a good one. Hey, I appreciate you coming up here.
Yes,
and doing
sir.
This, man. It's a really good story. Like all of our owner-operators, I love so much to talk to you guys and get to know you because it just reassures me what this company stands for and people like you that want to buy into the program, man, and be an asset to this company and be proud of it.
Yes.
And be proud to be a truck driver. You know, that's what we need more of. And Oakley is doing their part to try to contribute to that the best we can by finding guys like Jared Smith. So I appreciate you doing this.
Yes, sir. One thing I want to say about, Oakley, I had known guys that had been here, and I always looked at them like Cody Pipkin,
Yeah.
Dad and stuff I talked about, Jeb Bledsoe, and they were able to be over here and, still be a part of their family and lifestyle. They weren't gone all the time, and they were able to provide, and, they got out there on their own and stuff, and, Oakley helped make their dreams come true.
Yeah.
I will say that. So if you're out there listening and you're scared, don't be scared. Just make the phone call and talk to a recruiter and, take that step, and they're going to help you out with everything along the way.
Couldn't say it any better myself. Hey, I appreciate everybody listening to the Oakley Podcast. You guys are great. Check out our sponsors, as always. Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer, doing a great job. Arrow Truck Sales. Call Keith, give him a hard time up there, and buy a truck from him. And if you guys got any questions, comments for even Jared or any of us here, you give us a call and let us know. Other than that, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks.